And now we're with Tom Daykin. Tom is a business reporter at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. He covers commercial real estate and development. And Tom, I want to talk about a proposal that the Milwaukee County Executive, Chris Abele, just put on the table this week. He wants to sell a large chunk of the Park East corridor, which would be near the new proposed arena, for $1. Tell us what that proposal is all about.
The proposal would sell about 10 acres within the Park East corridor. This is all west of the river between Juneau and Highland Avenues, going west of North Old World 3rd Street. All currently vacant, and they would be sold for $1. And what's interesting about that, there's actually, we just reported today on Thursday that there are county appraisals that were conducted in 2014 that show that land has got a market value of $8.8 million.
$8 million.
So that's a considerable write-down, obviously,
right.
in the value to basically give it away.
Right.
Abele's proposal says they're doing this for two reasons. That is, selling it for $1 for two reasons. Number one, it's to recognize the fact that there are certain soil conditions involved. There's debris, I think,
including foundations,
including former freeway piers,
whatever.
that have been buried underground.
They're still there. So it's costly to clean up.
Right, right. And also just the idea that something like this would lead to, if all these developments occur, office buildings, a supermarket, other stores, apartments, that it would generate a considerable amount of development and jobs, and creating property tax base for the county as well as jobs for people. That's the theory anyway.
I think there's some assumption that the new arena, if it's built, will lead to some new development. But how real are these plans by the Bucks Owners Group, which is the entity that would take possession of the land?
Correct. Yeah. How real are they? They're conceptual. I mean, these are plans, and that's not to say they haven't put some thought into them. They have, but conceptual plans are just that. They're concepts. They're ideas. You really have to start somewhere, and this is the level at which you start. And if it progresses, you obviously create more detailed plans and get things firmed up. I guess the more pertinent question, one we tried to answer I think this past Sunday with our late colleague Don Walker and Bill Glauber writing the story, is to what extent is there demand for these types of uses? We are seeing more apartments being built in downtown Milwaukee, including west of downtown, because there's a shift in preference for millennials to live in urban areas and to rent, not own. We haven't seen a lot of office development in downtown, very, very little of that occurring west of the river in recent years. And frankly, it does beg the question, does something like an arena help stimulate demand for those types of developments? I think what the Bucks would argue is that by virtue of having a new arena, you create an environment where somebody running a company would want to be close to that. They would want to have their workforce, their employment there for purposes perhaps of recruiting and retaining talent, particularly younger talent. Not people like you and I, Dave. People much younger than us.
Right.
but that's
speak for yourself.
That's the theory anyway. And there is perhaps something to this. I mean, a developer by the name of John Hammes is currently trying to do offices on a Park East parcel east of the river. That doesn't have anything to do with this, but it's in the same general area of downtown, and I think he would tell you those are some of the factors that he's looking at in terms of trying to possibly attract tenants to that development if it goes forward.
Okay, two questions. Is there some precedent for basically giving land away? And two, how is the county board, especially given its relationship with the county executive, not always great, expected to react?
Yeah, on your first question, this would be the first time the county has taken parcels in the Park East and essentially given them away. So far, the county has sold 2 parcels, one for the Milwaukee School of Engineering parking structure and soccer field, one for the Avenir apartments and retail development.
Yep,
in both cases, the county got $2.7 million for each of those 2 separate blocks. I mean, certainly we have plenty of cases where cities, counties have offered to give land away in return for development. That in and of itself does happen from time to time. It hasn't happened yet with the Park East Strip. As to your question about the county board, they don't get along. I mean, Abele and the county board do not get along with each other. There are members of the county board who are still unhappy about having their power curtailed through the state legislative process that Abele helped initiate. But they still have some power, and one of those is approving land sales, and they can say no.
They'll have to approve this. Tom, thanks so much.
You bet. Thanks, Dave.